them low-skilled, half continue to enter this country. An obvious question arises. What does that mean for our economy, for America's working class, which is already having its jobs phased out by automation, but for a lot of other parts of our society? Orrin Cass is a senior fellow at the Manhattan Institute, author of the book The Once and Future Worker, A Vision for the Renewal of Work in America. A thoughtful look at that question. He joins us tonight. Orrin, thanks a lot for coming on.
Thank you for having me, Tucker.
So there's a debate over what automation is going to do long term. Everyone seems agreed that it's going to eliminate a lot of jobs that we currently think of as real jobs. They'll be gone. But is there any scenario in the future as we perceive it now where you'd want more than half of all immigrants to have a high school diploma or less?
I think that's a concern we have to grapple with. If we already feel like we have an imbalance, too many unskilled workers relative to what the economy wants, adding more unskilled workers to that mix pushes us in the wrong direction.
How concerned are you about that?
I think it's a concern. I think it's one among many. I think there are a lot of things we're doing that really hurt less skilled workers. The way we approach immigration, the way we approach education. I mean, we don't care about education for less skilled workers. We say college for all, and if you don't complete college, you fell out somewhere along the way. And all of our money goes to the folks who are actually completing college, even though they're the ones who need the least help.
So why wouldn't you, if you were thinking thoughtfully about who to let, if you started with the presumption that some immigration is good, that's where I start anyway, why wouldn't you be thoughtful about letting in more people who already have the education that you think your economy requires?
I think that's exactly what we should do. And I think, most economists would look at the issue and say, if you want to benefit workers at the bottom, if you want to benefit their wages, pretty much the models say high-skilled immigration is good for low-skilled workers. More low-skilled immigration, it can't be good for low-skilled workers. You're just adding more competition to the market.
I've had this debate 100 times on this show over the past couple of years, and I often hear people say, all the studies show that's not true. Bringing in millions more poor people makes us all richer. Is there such a study that shows that?
I'm not aware of a study that shows that. There are a lot of studies that show that the mix of immigrants we've had over time, which has been low-skilled and high-skilled, it's reflected roughly what's in the population.
Right.
And so that's okay. But that's the wrong question to ask. The question to ask is which would be better? Given that we're going to have high-skilled immigration, is it good to also have a lot of low-skilled immigration, or is it good to have less low-skilled immigration? And what you would say is the less low-skilled immigration you have, the better things are going to be for the low-skilled workers who are here.
So I sort of alluded over the meat of your book, which is what would you, if you could do one thing to help people who are struggling to reap the benefits of our economy, what would it be? Well,
I think conceptually we have to actually value work, and we have to say it's not just about consumption and how much we all get to consume and how cheap stuff is. We actually have to realize that people having work is what's most important to them. And then
wait a second. Paying everybody off with $3,000 a month won't be the answer?
No, it's a disaster. It's a great answer for the folks who are doing really well. The funny thing is, the higher up the income ladder you go, the more people say, oh, not everyone needs a job, we can send them money. You go down to the bottom end of the ladder, that's where you find the people who say, no, we don't just want money, we want the jobs, because they understand how critical work is, not just to their own satisfaction, their own lives, to their families, to their communities. And if we don't focus on that, if we just say, oh, we'll grow the pie, what they say, and
right,
we'll just send everyone a piece, right? You don't have to bake your own pie, we'll just give you a slice. That's not what people want, and that's not a model for a good society.
That used to be really obvious.
It did, until about the middle of the last century. And then we flipped and we said, as long as consumption keeps going up, as long as everyone can have more stuff every year, we're going to call that success. But that's not success.
Brightly colored crap made in China will make us happy. Did it?
I don't see a lot of that, no.
I don't either. Orrin Cass, really thoughtful. Thank you for that.
Thanks for having me.